Hey everybody, this is Grace, and I had made a video clip to go before this, and it had me in the video, and then I flipped it around because I wasn't wearing my readers, and I wanted to read what I was going to use on the rest of it. But anyway, it was going to be difficult, so I did that. I did it to two videos. The first one wouldn't upload. I tried it twice, and it wouldn't upload, and I don't know why. It was very frustrating, so I deleted the ones with me in it, so it might not flow like it should flow. And I might also add another video to the end of it along the same topic, or not. It wound up being too short, or rather short, without that first clip. So hopefully the rest of it will flow. Okay, I prefer to do my videos like this. So I'm going to talk about, like I said, online dating and gaslighting. I'm using online dating as an example to gaslighting. Now, gaslighting is when basically, I used to always call it when somebody tries to make your reality not real. Okay, anymore. A lot of people use examples, or I've heard of examples, like from the movie, gaslighting, and but basically, I've experienced that somebody moves your stuff around, hides it from you, like your keys, and then they tell you you're going crazy, or they'll help you find them even, and of course they know where they are because they put them there, and they'll say, oh, you just forgot, and you did not put your keys there. And just do things to make you think, you're losing it, or say that they told you something and they never told you. But it can go deeper, much deeper. There's too many ways they can do it to, just give all the kinds of examples that you can. But I'm going to give this of, like I said, using online dating. Now, I did online dating myself years ago. And I did it for too long, and when I say I've done it for a long while, yeah, it's not something to do. I would not do it now. It's very dangerous, and even people who meet in public places, it could be dangerous, and whether you're dating male or female. And now I only dated males, so I can only speak from that. Personal experiences dating men. So I'm not trying to male bash or anything like that, but that was my experience. Now, I heard a lot of stories from men about what it was like to date women from, dating websites, but I don't know, how much of it was true. That's one thing I learned while dating, is they often would tell stories that were lies, fictional, just for various reasons, like trying to get a woman's empathy, from the story, use that. And at some point I've realized that I remember saying it seemed like that the men on these dating websites were handing around a script, and this is the story you tell, each woman. And it was to be the same thing, and then the next, like they're getting memos, or a playbook. And I really did feel that way. And it didn't matter which dating website it was on. It was pretty much the same that I'd tried. It was pretty much the same thing. Same scripts, around the same time. And they went from one to the next one to the next one. And after a while, you hear a story. You get the gist of it. So, anyway. All right. Now, I also knew women, various ages, who were doing the online dating thing besides me when I was doing it. And at first, there was one of them. At first, you could chat with other women and get, get an idea. That was making it more like a community, and there was more accountability. And at some point, they stopped that. You could not. And if you were a woman dating men, you could not talk to women on there. That took away all accountability, in my view. I could be wrong in all of this. But there were also get-togethers, people would plan get-togethers and stuff. I went to one of them, and they were so, like they had already had this established, and they all knew one another, and I was an outsider, and I was treated like, oh, okay. And that was it. There was nobody for me to talk to. I didn't know anybody, any other women to talk to, anybody. Yeah. So, but anyway, so that they didn't have that. I'd heard from other women, and that cut down women warning other women about men. Okay, I think at one point you couldn't even look at women's profiles. I don't remember. That was a while back. But anyway, women couldn't warn each other, watch out for this man, because, we couldn't send emails to one another on that site. And there was no place, anyway. So, now to get to this more about this gaslighting stuff. So, like I said, I know other women and before and all that. One of the things that they would do is, say you're online, and the way people communicated was either through like a chat, and at some point they got where you could do it through video, through that site, one of the sites, various ways with different sites, but most of it seemed like more like an email kind of thing, but not really to your personal email offline, but that one there, on their service. And one of the things that I noticed and heard about is that the men would try to let the woman think that they are actually developing a relationship. Okay, an actual relationship. That's what, that they were out for, was to, a long-term relationship. Now, some of them would actually say they want to be friends first. That was like red flag. That's red flags. That they're thinking friends is not really friends. To them, it was friends with benefits, and there was no relationship involved. That's what I learned over time. That was their goal, and that's an old stereotype. Like I say, I didn't date women, so I don't know. I would hear the men say things, not that one, but the things that they said about women were, somewhat similar, somewhat. Okay, I did write some notes, so I'm going to read a little bit. I wrote that they would play up the relationship as if it were a real one. Once they were wanting out, like he got what he wanted, and something gets only one thing. But no, they would also want things like money. For a woman to support him. Some of them were out for that, or just how much money was she earning to add to his portfolio. This kind of thing. But anyway, he would play up, the men would play up this relationship. And once they wanted out, once they got what they wanted or whatever, they would then, he would tell the woman that they were never in a relationship. Okay, that it was never that he had always said that it was not going to be a relationship. Trying to make her think something that wasn't what was said at all. And that's a gaslighting. That's a form of gaslighting. He's making her reality not real. He played up, we're in a relationship. Once he got what he wanted, that was it. And no, they were never in a relationship to him. But it was a game. And it was one of these lather, rinse, repeat things, okay? So like I said, he would, she would feel like they were developing a relationship. It was something that was going to be ongoing because of everything he said. Would make her think, this is real and we're going to keep dating and all that. And then when he got what he wanted, end it. That's it. And say that he never said any of that. Okay. I'm reading my notes again. But like, I said that men would tell me their stories, and some of their stories were pretty wild. And sometimes I wonder if it was bragging or they were wanting sympathy, like I said earlier. And some of it seemed like they really wanted free counseling. A woman to sit there and listen to them talk really bad about the women in their past. And some of it, I still say they were wanting sympathy, But But it became such a script, like scripted, like the playbook, like I said. But at some point, in some of them, I would sit there and listen for a short while, but it would be like the look on their face. Some would call it a narcissistic smirk or a narcissistic. Yeah, it was like once I said anything that was like sympathy or empathy for them, compassion, I could see it on their face, like, oh, they think that they've just reeled another woman in, to their lies and their BS. Yeah, it was pretty bad. Okay, and some of them did not. I mean, I spoke to a lot of them. I didn't meet a lot. I mean, I met quite a bit, but I spoke to a whole lot of men over years. I was doing it on and off over years, and some of their stories, like I say, so much seemed like just a script, and some of their stories were the same kinds of stories, but with different twists. And they could have all been true, because part of it was that they had this is what you do, one line after another, and one of it was once they got the woman reeled in, were acting like that it was in a relationship, then did the gaslighting and told her he never said that or any of that. Some of the women, he just ghosted her, what they call ghosting. Back then I hadn't heard the term ghosting. I just said it was he would take the coward's way out and just not contact her. And men would tell me these stories, at some point, parts of the story, that what their stories were often about was that they had dated a woman from there before, whatever website it was, and that they broke up. Yeah, okay, broke up, and she would stalk him. That was their favorite thing to say, stalk him. It was like I said, like a trend. They kept having little trends. And there would be a while when they were saying that the woman was stalking them. But really what they had done was ghost the woman, because they would actually have the nerve to tell me the story. They wouldn't admit to what they did. This, some of the men would say stuff like, it just felt like it wasn't, and that was the best way to do, so not to cause any hard feelings. It's just not, answer the phones when they called, not speak to them again. Cowards way out, but they call it ghosting. So you get the gist. They're dating. She thinks, he's telling her all these things, that his relationship developing. He decides he got what he wanted out of it, or whatever was the case. Ghosted her, gaslighted her, then ghosted her, and she's out there saying something must be wrong. And this is the way I would think. I would think as a woman, that you're dating someone, all of a sudden they don't answer their phone, or respond to you in any way, you would be really concerned, especially when you get older. Really concerned about what has happened to that person. Could they have died or something like that? And the men would tell me these stories. That one of them told me a story like something about, she started calling my job, okay, and she was stalking me by calling my job to try to find out, what's wrong with me. Now think about what would be more real, was that she would be, like I just said, worried what happened to him. But he's going to turn it around on her. You see, he's the one that did wrong, but he's turning it around on her, that she's doing wrong. And one of them actually said he called the, reported her for stalking. And I'm telling you, it was like a theme for a while, and I kept hearing these stories. I mean, just imagine you're in a relationship. You're a woman. You're in this relationship with a man, and then he does all this stuff of saying it wasn't a relationship. You're losing your mind. I never said all that, or just ghost her. Like I said, all this, and then they turn it around on you and file, a complaint that you're stalking him. Wow. And that was, I think that was when I quit dating. I mean, I didn't have that happen to me, but yeah, it was like, okay, this is getting to where there's no bounds. They'll cross all of them. To do something harmful to a woman, gaslighting is, okay? And then turn around and twist it around to where she's at fault. Because she's actually human with real thoughts and real emotions and wondering what happened to that, to him. Oh, yeah. Anyway, I was reading over my notes again. But anyway, that's pretty much all of it. But yeah, that's an example of gaslighting. It's an example of ghosting, of online dating. Now, I'm sure that there are people out there who've met, people online, and they had good relationships and wound up getting married and had good relationships all around. And not all, but I've heard some horror stories. Okay, yeah, I've heard some pretty bad horror stories. So it's one of those things that people really need to weigh the consequences, and especially now. Is it worth it to find somebody online? And I've got much more to say about that, but I think I've done enough. So I'm going to go ahead and wrap this one up. But anyway, if you have anything that you want to add, leave a comment below. Make it nice. I don't approve of ones that are rude. I really don't. But, ones that are trolls. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up, and I'll talk to you on another video. Bye.